Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. We're at the end of the year. It's a good thing. I'm ready for the next year. I hope you are. Tonight's guest is a repeat offender. He's been here several times, I believe, but that's because every time he's here, we get to promote some great and mighty project that he's involved with. We have a couple to talk about tonight. But first, let's take a listen to his amazing and wonderful singing and playing. Please welcome into your heart and into your home, Mr. Geoff Kaufman.
On a day like today, in the heat of this late summer weather, there's a haze in the trees and a sound on the breeze like a whisper. There's a hawk in the air and a gleam on the wide river's waters, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away. And forever's a gift you're forever giving away. On a day like today, in the last golden days of October, there's a chill in the air and a slight haze of frost on the clover. There's a fire in the trees and a sound on the breeze like a whisper, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away. And forever's a gift you're forever giving away. On a day like today, in the heart of a long, bitter winter, with the light of the moon making stars on the snow in the clover, I sit down by the fire in the warmth of its slow dying embers, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away. And forever's a gift you're forever giving away. It's a warm day in spring, and the dew on the jewel weed still glistens. I walk down to the spring and I drink from its pure crystal waters, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away, and forever's a gift you're forever giving away, and the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away, and forever's a gift we're forever giving away. Well, that's a song by Bob Dyer out from Missouri. Was the poet laureate of the state a while back, and it's been a favorite song of mine for a long time. Takes you around the seasons. So as Dot says, here we are at the end of the year, and we can look forward to that spring in that song. But I love the idea that it has, that we have this desire to stay in a particular place when it's a wonderful moment, and yet our lives keep on moving. And that's the title cut of a new album that I'm in the middle of recording as we speak. And that theme is really kind of central to the album in a lot of ways. Speaking of water, I'll take a little sip.
Hydrate. It's a good thing.
So this album is a collection of songs that have been important to me over the years. I have a little image in my mind of walking through a field and having the seeds of plants grab onto your pants, particularly the wool pants I have on now, and you carry them along, and that's the way these songs have attached themselves to me. And one of the others is one from Dave Weber from over the other side of the pond in England, and he calls the song The Blackbird. And, well, when we get to the end of it, I think you'll understand why it is so significant to me. As I arose at break of day, off from beside my true love, I heard a blackbird sing its song, as beautiful as new love. There's not a court in all the world has heard a sound so rich, and ne'er a song has e'er been sung that has such perfect pitch. As I walked out this autumn day, just as the sun was rising, and all the world with dew was hung, and the trees like silver shining, there's not a court in all the world has treasures fair as these, and ne'er a diamond shone so bright as sunlight through the trees. And later on this autumn day, I saw a tree fire burning, with leaves ablaze in red and gold. It set my heart to yearning. And then I heard another song from deep within my heart, awaiting just one touch of love before it made its start. after love, I ask of life just one simple thing. Pray never let me see the time that does not let me sing. So that last line is very expressive for me. I do hope that I can keep on doing this for the rest of my days. People that have been following my music for a while know that I'm a pretty active environmentalist, let us say. And I spent some time on the Hudson River sloop Clearwater with Pete Seeger and sang with the sloop singers for a set of years. And that had quite an impact on me. But along the way, I had heard this song from Bob Zentz from down in Norfolk, Virginia. And I brought it to the sloop singers as a song that would be expressive of what we were trying to communicate to the world with that vessel that was cleaning up the Hudson River and really talking about our relationship with the earth. So this is This Old Earth. Fragments of another sunset, ashes of another dawn, drowned in time's immortal ocean. All too soon we may be gone. This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth, the stories she could tell. This old earth is finished with the giving. This old earth we've used so well. Now the playground stands deserted in the yellow afternoon, and the cotton candy children have all gone home too soon, and the tree of knowledge trembles, for the truth was ours before. Will we be like Eden's lovers, driven from the garden door? So what will it take from nature, and what must it take from man for the future generations to save the sky, the sea, the land? This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth, the stories she could tell. This old earth is finished with the giving. This old earth we used so well. And we who use the earth must answer, who's to lose and who's to win. And while we're watching where we're going, we must see where we have been. Endangered species and pollution, the waste, the rubble of the dream. And while we all look for solutions, remember we all live downstream. So ask a child what really matters. Ask your friends what they will do. Ask the leaders you've elected, and it really lies with you. This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth we've used from end to end. This old earth is finished with a giving. This old earth could use a friend. Bob actually added that verse about we who use the earth must answer in a second version of the song he wrote for the Chesapeake some years later than the first version. So I recorded that first version in a live concert many years ago, but I wanted to get that version on this album. But I'm not just working on this album. I've got a few other things going on.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm going, actually, I had talked to Dot about this particular thing, but in February, I'm going on an Irish music cruise out of New Orleans with Danny O'Flaherty, who ran O'Flaherty's Irish Channel Pub in New Orleans for many, many years. And he and I connected through C Music to begin with, but he ended up having me sing at his wonderful pub, a pub that had a kind of a loud pub on one side and then a listening room on the other, and I got to sing in that listening room on a few occasions. But so I'm going on this Irish music cruise with the likes of Aoife Clancy and Rory Makem and Danny and some other wonderful Irish players. So I'm going to have some Irish music to sing with these people and for them. And one of the cool songs that came out of my growing up in the Catskills and later connecting with the songs that were collected there is this one. Has to do with an Irish immigrant woman who came into New York before Ellis Island, and so she came through the Jersey quarantine, which turns out to be the Jersey cow machine in this song, kind of folk thing that happens in these songs. But this is just a wonderful song that ended up being collected in Camp Woodland outside of Woodstock, New York. And I'm going to play the bones on this, and it goes like this. And any of you out there who want to sing along, it's got a little bit of a chorus. With a rig jig and a rig jig jig, skinny me dig, honey-do, buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel when the car jumps the track. We're talking about horse-drawn conveyances in New York City, a lot of them on rails, and if they jump the track, you didn't go very far, so you wanted to pay the extra nickel to get on the Knickerbocker line. I wrote my love a letter and I sealed it with a wafer. I couldn't seal it with sealing wax for fear it wouldn't go safer. I couldn't send it through the mail for fear it would reach on time. I skipped across the gutter on the Knickerbocker line with a rig jig and a rig jig jig. Skinny me dig a honey-do, I buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel when the car jumps the track. Yump-a-deedle-deedle-deedle-dump-bump. As I walked down the street just the other afternoon, is there a chance to meet her in a lager beer saloon? Is there met the prettiest girl that ever has been seen? She took the humper bumper from the Jersey cow machine with a rig jig and a rig jig jig. A skinny me dig honey-do, a buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel when the car jumps the track. Yump-a-deedle-deedle-deedle-dump-bump-bump. Well, my love, she is a tailor she is betrayed, and many the pair of pantaloons of my request she made. She start them in the morning, have them finished by 9. A regular don't you touch her on the Knickerbocker line with a rig jig and a rig, jig, jig. Skin him a dig, a honey-do, a buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel when the car jumps the track. Jump-a-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dump-bump. If you want to see this pretty girl, you want to go down Broadway. She promenades the Bowery from 8 to 10 each day. But if anyone should tease her a little before the time, she's a regular skip the gutter for the Knickerbocker line. With a rig, jig and a rig, jig, jig. A skin him a dig, a honey-do, a buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel with the car jumps the track. Hope you're all practiced up with a rig, jig and a rig, jig, jig. Skin him a dig, a honey-do, a buy away to my do. Do you fly away to my honey-do and never do come back? It's a weary road to travel when the car jumps the track. Jump-a-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dump-bump-bump. Lots of fun. Of the kind of music that was being just manufactured in great quantity in the southern part of Manhattan in the day when there's so much Irish immigration to New York. So that's one that I will be able to treat folks to on this cruise. And I probably have to sing this song that means a lot to us around these parts, because the vessel that's being talked about in this song was built at Mystic Seaport, the David Crockett. And somewhere along the way, leaving Liverpool, some sailor on board, we think, ended up penning these verses. And it ended up being collected at Sailor Snug Harbor on Staten Island, New York, from a sailor who was then in his 80s and remembered all of these lyrics and actually sang it the way I'm going to sing it. It then got into kind of the popular repertoire, and people decided to rhyme it, but the last, you'll hear that the last rhyme doesn't happen in the version from the sailor that it was collected from. Now if I can remember how the song starts. Fare thee well, the Prince's landing stage, River Mersey, fare you well. I'm bound to California, a place I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think on you. I'm bound to California by the way of stormy Cape Horn, and I will write to you a letter, love, when I am homeward bound. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think on you. I shipped on a Yankee clipper ship, a Davy Crockett is her name, and I hear that Burgess is the captain of her, and I hear she's a floating hell. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think on you. It's my second voyage with old Burgess, and I or in hell. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think on you. Fare you well to Lower Frederick Street and St. Terrace and Park Lane. I know that it will be a long old time ere I see you again. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think on you. So that'll be a fun cruise from, let's see, February 17 to 25. But we'll get back to a couple of songs from this album to finish this set off. One is from Phil Oakes. There's something about this album that I'm doing that is reminiscent, and part of it is that there are songs that really kind of came to me fairly early on in my singing career, let us say, before I'd really become, this was my profession. But then there are other songs that are reminiscent in the sense that they were written quite a while ago, 30, maybe 40 years ago, and they are still incredibly pertinent. And this Phil Oakes song is one of those. Show me the prison, show me the jail, show me the prisoner whose face is growing pale. I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There but for fortune go you or I. Show me the alley, show me the train, show me the hobo who sleeps out in the rain. I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There but for fortune go you or I, you and I. Show me the whiskey stains on the floor. Show me the drunken man as he stumbles out the door. I'll show you a young man with so many reasons why. There but for fortune go you or I, you and I. Show me the country where bombs had to fall. Show me the ruins of the buildings once so tall. I'll show you a young land with so many reasons why. There but for fortune go you or I, you and I.
Geoff, you want to do one more song and then come talk to me? I think that was your plan anyway. way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's working out okay.
It's
Yeah.
nice when a plan comes together, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so, you end up with songs like that written by Phil Oakes quite some time ago that are a little too on the spot for these days. But we all need to think about it and think about how we're dealing with all these situations in the world. And a lot of that happens through the artists that are out there who are singing and maybe creating other forms of art to express their feelings about what is going on. And I do feel blessed in the collection of artists that are a part of my life. And so I'm putting this song on this album in honor of them and all the other people who are out there being creative. And it's not just those of us who may put out a recording or paint a painting that gets hung in a gallery. It's the creativity in all of us, and the fact that we're tapping into that in, well, the way David Mallet says in this song, as our way of being in touch with God. God within me is talking, I hear with my ear and my eye. God within me is talking real low, and he says, don't cry, don't cry. And he says, don't cry, don't cry. This world is a faulty creation. It works in its own little way. No room for much intervention, and I'd probably get in the way. But see how on this north side where nothing else grows, here in this garden where nothing else grows, oh, what a beautiful rose. God within me is laughing, I hear with my ear and my eye. God within me is laughing real low, and he says, don't cry, don't cry. And he says, don't cry, don't cry. This world is a place of confusion. Things always get out of hand. I'm not into intrusion too much in the matters of man. But see how it moves when the birds start to fly. See how the sun puts a gleam in your eye. Oh, what a beautiful sky. God within me is singing, I hear with my ear and my eye. God within me is singing real low, and he says, don't cry, don't cry. And he says, don't cry, don't cry. This world is a work still in progress. Sometimes things get out of line. There's bigger things I could be doing, I guess. But right now I'm working on rhyme. Right now I'm working on rhyme. But see how the whole world is covered in lace. The whole blues and greens give it such enough grace. Oh, what a beautiful place. Oh, what a beautiful place.
while Geoff is getting over here and getting mic'd up, let me remind you that it's winter and there are people out there that are cold. There are people out there that are, here's the word, without a roof over their head. Let's think about them when we're spending money on trivial stuff. There's a place called the Homeless Hospitality Center down off Huntington Street, and they're always looking for help. So if it crosses your mind to buy an extra bag of socks or an extra bag of shirts, or if you have some gently used clothing you'd like to donate, they'd be glad to take your donations. There's people out there with no shoes and children out there with no socks or shoes. There's people out there with no coat. We've got people in this community that are blessed. We also have people in this community that need blessings. If you reach a little bit beyond yourself and help another human, it will change your heart. I would love to hear from those of you that don't know anything about this wonderful community attribute. And you can reach me, on all my platforms. But let's take care of each other here in this community. Let's take care of our fellows, okay? Now we're going to talk to Geoff. Sorry, Geoff, I had to do my rant.
Well, I very much appreciate it. That's very much in line with the songs that I sing.
It does.
The spirit of,
yeah, I love that. And your music, every time you get on stage, you have a way of making people really think about where they're at on a human level, on a level of what are we doing in our communities, what are we doing to our earth, what are we doing to our rivers and oceans. And it's one of the things I love about you is that you really are, it's really what folk music is all about, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely what folk music was. The folk scare of the 60s that I grew up in was rife with, Dylan and various, and Oakes, people like that writing stuff because they were looking at the world saying, I need to talk about this. I need to get people to think about it. So
I think we still need people to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
so yeah, it's what we do. We have a lot of stuff to talk about for you tonight. First of all, this new album, when do you think this album's going to drop? Do you have an idea?
Probably the end of January.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
I've recorded almost all of the recording bits are done. I have a couple of more things that have to be added to a couple of tracks, and that's it. And then we get into serious mixing and mastering.
And I'm ready for all of that. So I just want to remind you that not only do I have this, but I have a little radio show that would love to play your new album when you have it. Yeah. And you're coming on to the radio show in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Because you're doing Friday Night Folk.
Yeah, January 12th.
January 12th. I believe you're coming on to the radio show on the 8th.
I think so, yeah.
And that will be so much fun. But then I'll have to have you back, like in a few weeks, to drop that new album.
Okay.
That will be awesome. When you are choosing songs, I know that they have to have some kind of message. And this new album that you're doing, you said that it were songs that grabbed you by the seat of your pants. Those were your exact words, by the way.
Something
so,
like that.
Yeah,
yes.
So what makes a song grab you? What makes a song, more importantly, what makes a song open your heart enough so that you need to sing it?
That's a great question. It begins with the sound of the song itself. It's often the beauty of a song that catches my ear. And then, because I want to listen to it more, I begin to ingest what it's talking about. So it's a combination of things. It doesn't have to always have a serious message. It can be just the nature of the song itself. And this, I have some favorite songwriters like David Mallet, and of course, in terms of my the track of my career. My experience of being with Pete Seeger and sharing time with him has
Right.
been very, very important. So so many of these songs that he wrote were kind of quiet and subtle, and I've got one of those on this album too. But then really a lot of the songs that I do have something that I keep feeling there's more depth to that song the more I sing it. And so they become a part of me.
Well, definitely there's songs that I've heard you do again and again and again. I mean, I've known you for a few years now, and I've heard you sing songs over and over and over again. Some of them have just been so instrumental in changing some of the thoughts of people in the community around us, and I thank you for that. You don't just play the guitar. What are some of the other, besides the bones, we've got the bones going on, what else do you play?
Well, I do play concertina,
Yep.
and occasionally I pull out a tin whistle, but not so often. I don't consider myself much of a tin whistle player. However, the concertina, of course, is kind of central to my maritime music career that was 35 years at Mystic Seaport.
Right.
And very important to that. So, and part of the, well, there's really two connections coming up here. One is the Thames River Heritage Park is having me do their first program in a series of programs connecting New London to islands. And
Nice.
of course, that particular, for me, connecting near islands like Fisher's Island and Block Island, and then further away, Cuba, which figures in our history a lot.
It does.
From early trade to slavery and, the Amistad, for instance. And then further away, Hawaii. And having had the great honor of being in a storytelling tour that took me there to spend time with Hawaiians, native Hawaiians.
Do you feel like you learned a lot when you did that?
Oh, yeah. It was phenomenal. I mean, not just in terms of the culture, but the singing tradition in Hawaii is all in chants of one kind or another. And we were taking our program that we'd put together into schools. Mm-hmm. And we would go, and two women from the Bishop Museum were kind of introducing us to the schools. And they were both wonderful singers, but one in particular had an alto voice that I will never forget. And you could stand behind her, and she would sing the first half of a chant that is a welcoming chant. So you have to sing the first part, and whoever's going to welcome you into their abode sings the other. And you could stand behind her and feel the vibrations of that voice in her part of the chant.
I love that.
Then the school children sang the other half.
Wow.
And I'll just never, it's getting the hairs on the back of my neck
Right.
up again. It
Oh,
was just
I
an amazing
know. That
experience.
sounds amazing.
So
this this lecture series that
Right.
you're going to be doing is on January 3rd. It starts on January 3rd. I think we have a graphic of that
Yeah.
if it gets put up. But anyway, so January 3rd starts the lecture series. Is that going to be weekly, monthly, bi-weekly? Do you know how that's going to
I'm
go?
not, well, it's I think it's 4 different lectures. I'm doing the first one, maybe it's 5. And I don't think it's weekly. It might be every other week, something like that. But
Is there a platform, a place where people can find out more about it? Do you have, is it on your
Thames
Facebook?
River Heritage Park. Just
Okay.
go to get their website up. And,
Okay.
They're covering that. And yeah, it'll be, I'm the first one because the music will kind of set up the fact that other people are talking about these specific locations in different ways later on.
That's so cool. And it's one of the wonderful things about New London and the way that New London celebrates its heritage.
Yeah.
And I love being here. I love being a part of this community and a part of this city. It just means so much to me. So
it's worth, it's a monthly series.
it's a monthly series.
Okay.
Okay, well, we've just been told. Yay, thank you for that, Drew. We appreciate you. He's so on top of things. I just love that about him. The next thing we want to talk about is coming on the 12th, and Friday Night Folk is a concert series that we're both very invested in and love so much. And every year you do a show.
Right.
Every year you do a show just to bring your brand of music to the people. What does it mean to you to be invested in Friday Night Folk and to be able to take the stage and bring to the people whatever you want? When you get up there, you can do whatever you want. How does that feel to you?
Well, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do because you and I on this committee spend a lot of time figuring out who to bring to the series.
We do.
And
We do.
and, and all the work that you do to promote everybody that comes,
It's what
and
we
you
do.
get them here, and but it's an incredible mix of people on our committee.
It is.
And that is just a community in and of itself that I love being a part of.
I do
and,
too.
And just gathering with those people to talk about what we're going to do, and then once a couple of times a year we get together in person and have a little
Tete.
yeah. But we also organize at the same meeting.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so it's been a wonderful experience, and I can't even think of how many years I've been a part of it now. Of course, Nick Avento, the driving force.
Right.
When I first showed up here to work at Mystic Seaport in 1984, I was looking around for a Unitarian Universalist Church. I came right to All Souls,
Right.
signed up, so I've been a member since then. But he was already doing this series.
Friday Night Folk was up at the little church that's
Right.
across the street from the library,
Right.
and they were doing things then.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I was a little busy being a punk rocker, but I already loved folk music.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with it. I remember my mother had a really, really thick record of Guthrie, not Arlo, the
yeah.
other one.
Woody
Woody
Guthrie, right?
My brain. a really thick. It was thick.
Yeah, yeah.
It was wax, I think,
yeah.
of Woody and I was so in love with the words. I don't know if I really liked the music because I was born into rock and roll, but I loved the words he was singing.
Yeah.
I hated what I saw on TV. I had just, like at 4, I watched footage of a president being shot. Yeah. And like I was 4, and I remember it. And the words that he sang about this country and about the love he had for this country and about the unions and all of that just tore my heart. And so my love for folk music came then. And when I had the opportunity to join Friday Night Folk, I felt honored that Nick would ask me to come and be a part of this incredible community. And since then, bringing music, but it's what we do. And we have some great shows coming up. We've got, we've got Seat of Our Pants is the final concert. And the Kennedys are coming, right? And who else? Well, you're in January. And then we have...
We have a tribute in February.
That's right. And who are we supporting with that tribute? Have we chosen a community?
Well, it's that's.
I should have done better homework on
Claire,
this, shouldn't
Claire
I? have?
Avento suggested a particular organization, but I think it's a food-oriented local
Is
organization.
it Food Share or Food?
It could be, yeah.
Food Share. It might be that. And then we have Tom Chapin.
Right.
And that will be amazing. He's incredible. Right. He's so much fun to watch, and he has such stories to tell. And Seat of Our Pants. So that's the rest of our season, and it's exciting. And then next year, we're still kind of putting that together a little bit, but we've got some great shows lined up. and the congregation that we hold it in is being all redone, and it's going to be beautiful. Is that close to done now? You go to that church?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the work is not so much in the sanctuary area. It's behind,
expanding
so the
it.
kitchen and the
A community
and
room.
a community room, and it's close to being done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that is January 12th. You can get tickets on. It's a new thing, but you can go to FridayNightFolk.org to find out about tickets and get them and find out about the new concerts because they're all lined up. Everything's ready. So if you could leave the world with not an album, not a song, but a legacy that had words to it, what would that be, Geoff? You're a brilliant man. Give us words that will be left as a legacy. And what's it going to be about?
Well, I think it would have to do with paying attention to what is happening in the world and the people around you. Because we live in an age of distraction.
We do.
And it's easy to forget about everyone else, or it's easy to get into your phone or your computer and not pay attention. So
To other humans.
yeah. So that's
It's crazy.
and for me, all the other souls in the world that are in other creatures,
I agree.
I think in fact, the more you learn, the more intelligent plants are. And,
It's
and
true.
one of the most intelligent animals is the octopus. And he's
Very
just-
smart.
They don't live long, but boy, are they smart.
Yeah,
So-
they are.
So there's so many ways that we can spend time learning about all of that, all of the stuff outside us. So that's really what the theme of this album is. Our days keep on rolling away,
Right.
and things keep changing. We keep moving on. We need to keep moving on. And a part of that, I think, is for us to continue to want to grow in our spirits.
You've been listening to my rants or something because we think a lot. So anyway, thank you so much. Quick, can you tell people where they can find you? Like
my
on Facebook?
My website is pretty simple. Geoff, Geoff, Kaufman, Kaufman .com.
And you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
And does the website have all your upcoming
It
dates and
does.
everything,
Yep.
and where they can get your CDs?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, on the website.
Would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Take me out with a song.
Oh, okay.
And they have you up here again, so that's up. Thank you so much, Geoff. I appreciate you coming to the attic. I love having you here.
I love being here.
So while Geoff is going back over, take a gander at Wednesday, January 3rd. It's a 6 p.m. reception and a 7 p.m. lecture. You've heard how Geoff teaches you, so please, support local musicians, local talent, local everything. And I'll see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye.
I've been walking in my sleep, counting troubles, instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say. I just turned around, they've gone away. I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell a story I used to know, but it happened so long ago. It's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on a mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. I've been and I heard the owl call softly as the night was falling with a question, and I replied, but he's gone across the borderline. He's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on a mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Finest hour I have seen is the one that comes between the edge of night and the break of day, when the darkness rolls away. It's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on a mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. It's gone away yesterday, and I find myself on a mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Thank you, Doc.